I met Chris, about 2.5 years ago. I've known him through the fire service and EMS for roughly about 6 years or so.
I first met Chris probably 5 or 6 years ago. We actually were taking a hazmat class together all the way in Bloomington, and then we realized, holy cow, we live this close to each other, and we slightly became friends. We became much closer when Chris got hired at AMT. I had just received my paramedic license, and he happened to be my first partner.
I met Chris a few years ago. He's a member of the South Beacon Fire Department currently. You know, you just pick up on guys that are doing the right thing, the quality of training, the ones you don't have to tell 3 or 4 times how to do something. That was that guy. Chris was the guy that I noticed off in the distance. It was just kind of quiet in the background. Paid attention, you tell him once, and he knew how to do it.
I would describe Chris as a very passionate, caring person. He seems to always put others before himself. You know, he's very devoted to being a good family man. He has 2 children, 1 on the way. That's definitely his #1 priority. But then second below that is others outside of his family. He devotes a lot of time to being a volunteer fireman, devotes a lot of time to working at an ambulance company, and now he's furthering that and becoming a paramedic and going to school for that.
You know, a person who's very passionate about what he does, the way he provides care to patients, whether if it's on the fire side of things, he's very knowledgeable.
He's just one of those guys that you'd like to clone for the fire department, because he's always there. He's the one that you don't have to, you know, constantly get on to do something. You can give him an assignment on a rescue call or a fire scene, and you know, even if you're not with him, it's going to be done correctly.
The way he carries himself in our profession, it's very inspiring. He is somebody who is a modeled, fireman, EMS provider. When you think of somebody who you would want to follow, like Chris comes to mind.
His effect on others in my life is his knowledge, skill, his base, his ability to operate on a fire scene, rescue scene, makes me want to better myself and makes the others want to do the same. Kind of get up to that level where he's at.
Chris has a good personality. He's someone, if you have a friend that you can carry an inside joke with, or just somebody who, in some of the darker moments of what we do, he can bring out the light in things.
I would say I'm most thankful for all the laughs and entertainment Chris has provided with me. He was my first partner when I became a brand new paramedic, and that's a very scary time in a paramedic's career, is right when you're off the bat on your own with just you and a EMT basic, and he was great to rely on to help me, to calm me down. Chris is the only partner I ever worked with that he would bring a football or a frisbee, and every day when we'd be in the ambulance, we'd always try and find a way to get to the park and play catch. He just always tried to make work fun that way and made it entertaining. I believe Chris deserves the Henry Pratt Memorial Award just off his dedication and care for others. I mean, he devotes a ridiculous amount of time to, like I said before, helping others, volunteering. He sacrifices time away from his family so others can be better off with their family. So there's nothing more deserving than that.
I think Chris deserves to receive this award just for the fact that he is constantly striving to better himself. He's working for advanced medical transport. I don't know how many hours there. Going to school to get his paramedic's license. Working at his ride along with Germantown Hills. He's doing volunteer with South Beacon Fire Department. The guy has more energy than I know what to say. There's an old saying that when something like the bravest thing a man can do is join the fire department. Everything after that is just part of the job. With Chris, it's he could probably do that times 10. He's got his hand in everything, and he manages it and figures out how to make it work. And for that, my hat's off to him.